If you've ever been the one person that keeps things organized, you make sure that deadlines are met and you keep people on track. Congratulations, you're halfway through being a project manager. In this video, I'll break down how you can become one, but I'll also give you a peek of what a typical day looks like for a full-time project manager, but today working from home. Come along. On this particular day, it is half-term week, so the first thing I do is start the kids off with breakfast, then I make myself my protein shake before I start my day. A project manager is a person that makes sure things get done on time, on budget, and with as little chaos as possible. We plan, we organize, and we problem solve. And that's just to make sure that the team and the specialists are able to get on with their day-to-day work with as little hassle as possible. So you might be thinking, I need to go back to uni if I want to be a project manager. No, you don't need a PhD, you don't need a degree, but some courses and some additional qualifications will help you. So if you're starting out, look into Prince2 Foundation or Scrum Master, so depending on the path that you want to take. And if you're more of an advanced project manager, you want to look at APM, PMP, or Prince2 Practitioner is a great option. A lot of project managers actually start off project managing in their current job, but not having the title. An example of that is if you've organized an event, if you've coordinated a team or managed deadlines, that essentially is you having the experience to be a project manager. One of the key skills I would say for being a project manager is communication. So you're talking to your colleagues, your stakeholders, internally and externally. So you should be able to communicate effectively, but also clearly so that they can understand what is requested from you or from them. So I mentioned communication, you should be organized, but also, and most importantly, have the ability to handle problems calmly. Not about knowing everything, but just knowing how to manage everything. You've got the basics, and once you've got the basics, you can start by applying for junior project manager roles, project support officer roles, or project coordinator roles. Those will give you the relevant sort of junior level experience. It gives you an idea what a project manager does because you tend to be working with project managers. So you can have an idea of what their day-to-day looks like. And if that is exactly what you aspire to be, then you can go further on once you've had that additional experience and you know that you can apply for a project manager role. But also what is key is networking. So you can use LinkedIn. LinkedIn is not just for searching for jobs, it's a great networking platform. You can also find mentors, you can find project management groups as well with like-minded people as yourself that are either starting or more professional, and they can offer some support or some guidance on how to progress in your project management career. So that would be a great start once you've sort of applied for a project management role. Interact with people that are on the same level as you or a bit higher and sort of gain that experience and that knowledge from networking. Just to run through what a typical day looks like for me, I'll be opening up my laptop around 8:30 or 9 o'clock. If I need to drop the kids off at school, then it will be about 9 o'clock. And I chair a stand-up meeting. So stand-up meetings essentially are an opportunity for the team to gather, to run through what activities that they completed the day before and what they've got planned for today. And if there's any issues, any stumbling blocks, or any support needed from the team, it's an opportunity for everyone to come together, have a daily chat with the team. If there's anything arising that they need to inform us, that would be a perfect opportunity. So I chair that meeting for my head of delivery. And then it's an opportunity for him to also understand what his team are working on and if he needs to either give them additional work or take something away. We could possibly have a team meeting where it would include the wider team. So it could be health and safety, it would be risks, it would be the schedule, just depending on the day. So they tend to be every 2 weeks or so, but it gives you a rough idea of some of the meetings that you may have to attend. Yes, as a project manager, you are forever in meetings. It's mainly 80% of the time you're in meetings and then 20% you're actually trying to do some work. As that sort of overseer, you have to be in almost everything to understand where your project is and be able to answer to any questions that anyone does have around your project. So another aspect is working on project timelines. This is just to ensure that your project doesn't slip in terms of time, because obviously if it slips with time, that's also a slip in money. Increased time, increased money. So I make sure that we're on track with our schedule and we're not falling behind. If we do fall behind, or if I see a potential of us falling behind, that's where you then bring in the risk and you document all the risks to say, right, okay, there's a potential chance that we might miss this deadline, or we might miss our timeline, which would then increase the cost, increase the budget. How can we mitigate this? So these are some of the things I do on a day-to-day basis. It will differ from project to project, but what I will say is, as long as you've got the fundamentals of project management, you can alter it to suit any project that you are put on. I remember my mentor would always say to me, when you go into a project, you're like a baby. What do babies do? They listen, they absorb information, and it takes them a while to understand what's going on before they start to speak and before they understand their environment. So I would also give that advice. Go into any project like a baby, sit, observe, and absorb the information that's provided. Project to project will differ, so you need to understand what the requirements are that need to be delivered in this particular project. I tend to work till about 5:30, sometimes 6, depending on if I've got to do the school run or if I have to do any additional task in preparation for the next day. That is a typical day. If I was to run through everything, we'll probably be here for quite a while. But I just wanted to give you an insight of, number one, what are the things that you need to do to get into project management? Essentially, start off with just getting additional courses. And like I mentioned before, it could be a Prince2 Foundation, Scrum Master. That will just give you the theory behind project management. And then look at your environment, look at the practical things that you've done project management wise. So for example, if you've planned a birthday party, if you've planned a wedding, if you've organized anything that requires you to communicate with people or give them deadlines or give them dates, that is project management. So if you were to think about it as a project manager, in that sense, if you're planning an event, you will obviously have all your stakeholders, all your vendors, call them stakeholders, and then you start to document your risks. What could happen? So you can have a vendor cancel on you last minute. You can have one of your guests have food poisoning. So what would you do before that event to make sure that those risks are not materialized? So for example, with the food poisoning, you speak to your vendor, you ask them how they prepare their food, how they store their food, their working environment, ask them if they've got food standard scoring. So those are the things that you would put into place to make sure that those risks don't materialize. And it's the same thing for anything that you do. If you're a business owner, you are running a project. For example, if you are baking, if you're a baker, one of your risks could be that the cake falls, or your clients don't pay you on time. Those are the risks that you will put in place before you kick off the project, before you kick off your business. Those are the risks that you would put in place. But then also you'll have mitigation. So to ensure that people pay you on time is pay 50% on an order, and then before collection or before pickup, you pay the remaining before your cake is handed over. Or you have those, I'm not a baker, but you'll have those sticks in the cakes to make sure that they don't fall, or you make sure that your recipe is correct. So you will trial and test and make several cakes just to make sure that when you do start producing cakes for clients and customers, it doesn't fall, it doesn't break, or put instructions for your clients and your customers on how to take care of the cake from receipts of that cake. So those are just little examples of how what you do in your day-to-day life are mini projects, but you just have to have that theory, which is going into those courses, have the theory behind it. So it helps when you're managing projects, because you kind of foresee what potential things could happen. You can foresee if there's going to be increase in time, if there's an increase in cost, if there's a quality issue. So if you see, right, okay, I'm not quite sure if this cake is going to be as good as I'm advertising. What can I do to make it better? I'll do tests, I'll do tasters, I'll have some tasters, I'll invite people to come and try the cake and get feedback, and you go back and rework it. So I just want to, I've digressed a bit, but I just want to give you an idea. And if you're looking to get into project management, think about what you currently do and just add that theory behind it, which is the courses and the qualifications. If you have any more detailed questions, or if you want to ask me anything, or how I manage being a full-time PM, a mom, a wife, and all that, let me know in the comments below. But most importantly, don't forget to like, share with someone that might find this useful, comment, subscribe if you haven't, but most importantly, turn on your notification bell, because I will be releasing videos on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And so you don't miss anything, click that notification bell. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.